Welcome back to another opportunity to learn, grow, and continue uncovering and unleashing that power that we have at the core of all of us. And we're doing all of this together. You are not alone. I'm doing this every day as well. Today we are diving into one of my favorite practices for uncovering that power that we have within us, and that is meditation. Okay? I have been practicing personally meditation for about 6.5 years. It'll be 7 years on June 6th, 2022. I've been practicing meditation for roughly 2,372 days and about 94,900 minutes. And the point of me sharing these statistics with you is not to flex on you, but rather to share with you that I have dedicated so much time to this because it has brought so many benefits to my life, right? Not to flex on you, but to show you that I am dedicating so much time to this because it's actually bringing some really beautiful and very necessary benefits to my life. I got started in meditation in 2015 when I was looking for answers around working through what at the time was debilitating anxiety. If you've been following my story, you have an idea of the anxiety that I experienced. And when I was looking for these answers, I came across this book called Transcendence by Rosenthal that my brother very generously gifted to me. And the book was actually gifted to him by a company known as Bridgewater, one of the largest hedge funds in the world, because that company believed so strongly in the power of meditation that it gifted this book to all of its employees and paid for them to learn how to meditate. So I read this book, Transcendence. It's specifically about transcendental meditation, and a month later, I was in the 4-day course learning how to meditate, and I have not looked back since. Okay? Now, I'm not here to just tell you my story of meditating, but rather I want to share with you what I have learned as a result of meditation and what are the biggest benefits for making meditation one of your regular practices so that maybe you could take something out of this that really aligns with you and that you want to put into your life, okay? Now, the first and largest benefit that I experience as a result of doing meditation, and really what is the foundation for creating a beautiful, fulfilling, and happy, peaceful lifestyle, is meditation taught me and helped me breed self-awareness and space between my core self, my intuition, my higher self, the internal spirit, breeding space between that and all of the stimulants, all of the stimuli that are in my external world or that are even in my mind or my body, aka my emotions. So it's building space between my core self and challenging conversations, triggering conversations, anything that happens in our external world, and even our thoughts, mainly our thoughts, creating space between us and our thoughts, and our emotions, which at times, really, it's the thoughts and the emotions that can really grip us and pull us in the most. But meditation helps us to, instead of reacting and identifying with the thoughts, the emotions, and all the shit that's happening in life, instead of reacting with it, it breeds space so that we could consciously choose how we want to respond to these thoughts and emotions, respond to these challenging conversations, in these things happening in our family, in our work setting, whatever it might be. When we are responding, we are consciously creating who we are and how we want to show up in the world. Whereas when we are reacting, we are acting based off of outdated conditioning, maybe anxious patterns, outdated anxious habits. And if we are continuously reacting from this place, we are constantly building those anxious patterns and anxious habits. Instead of breaking the cycle, not engaging in those anxious practices, and instead engaging in healthy habits, engaging in responding in a healthy way, in a way that is best for us, right? We have to break that cycle. of continuing to respond that way. And meditation has taught me how to do that. That has been the biggest benefit. Creating space between us and these things so that we can proactively, consciously respond instead of reacting based off the conditioning of maybe when we were young or other challenging experiences in our life that taught us to react a specific way. Okay? That is number one. If you want to end the video here, you can. That's how powerful that main teaching has been for me. Number two, similar to number one, is that meditation has taught me that I am not my thoughts and I am not my emotions. Rather, it's a part of me, but it's not core me. Rather, I am the awareness behind these thoughts. I am the awareness behind these emotions. Similar to if you're watching television and you're sitting on the couch, you are watching and observing the television, but you are not the television, okay? You are the one observing. Or if you're laying on the ground, on the earth, and you are looking up at the sky and you're watching the clouds passing by, but you are not identifying with any of the specific clouds. Rather, you are the awareness that is behind them. And what I also learned here is that as I meditate daily, right? I'm meditating twice a day, every day for these past 6.5 years, maybe missing 2 months in between in these 6.5 years. Every time that I show up to meditate, it's like building a wall brick by brick, right? Every time that I'm meditating, I am expanding this space between myself and my thoughts and my emotions that much more. That's why it's called a practice. Each time that we do it, we are expanding the benefits that we are receiving from it. We are becoming better at it. We are learning more and more about it, and we are also learning much more about ourselves. Another thing that I learned is that the meditation benefits, they pervade, I think that's the right word, they pervade and instill themselves in all aspects of life. My relationships got better with my family, my mom. My relationships with my friends got better. My relationships in actual romantic relationships got better. My relationship with myself got better because I'm able to take the shackles off of these outdated conditions, patterns and thoughts, these habits that aren't serving me. I was able to, as a result of building this relationship with myself, benefit all other relationships and also benefit my career, benefit my work because I have a clearer mind. I am more confident. I am more aware of myself, what I need, what I like, what I want, because I'm not engaged in all of this junk thoughts that are going on. Rather, I am proactive in my thinking. I have clarity in my thinking because of this space, and I could choose kind of what I want to think instead of identifying and engaging in the outdated type of thinking that was there and still is there. I just have changed my relationship to it, choosing how I want to show up instead of identifying with the outdated stuff that is not serving me. And the other place that the benefits really served, like I said, it's all pervading, is my sleep, right? My sleep got better. As my sleep got better and my meditation was there, I had more energy. As I had more energy, then I was having more creativity. I was having more clarity. I was able to show up more in my life, right? And as a result of that, my health started to get better. I also wanted to engage in healthier things because I wanted to keep it going, right? When you make one healthy decision, it's easier to make the second healthier decision. So I looked into my diet. I expanded my diet. My diet got better. And it was a domino effect of positive changes, all because I started with this meditation, right? And the last thing that I'll say here that was a huge, huge teaching for me is that I simply became more and more of who I truly am. Because meditation, and I've repeated it in like 7 different ways here, but meditation is helping us come back to ourselves because it's creating space around our authentic selves. Instead of being suppressed, instead of having our authentic self be suppressed by all of the outdated ways of thinking and all of the outdated thought patterns and habits that we've adopted from our parental figures or from friends or from teachers. Rather, I got to just like let go of that stuff, stop, identifying with it and attaching myself to it, and come back to core me. And I keep touching this part of myself because I visualize my core self as just like this light rod in the core of my being. Okay? Now, I am sharing these things with you and you're like, wow, he received all of these benefits. How insane. I want to be very clear that it wasn't like I meditated one day and I just suddenly became this like enlightened being, right? Instead, when the first month, weeks, year of meditation, I had some benefits that came up immediately. Yes. Physical benefits, a little bit more clarity, a little more creativity. However, this has been a marathon, right? It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And so I have experienced new benefits and even more clarity just within the past year. I have experienced new things that I didn't experience within the first year. And that's why I say it's like building that space, building that wall brick by brick. It just gets better and better. You just have to show up and do it. And that's the next part here, right? Is I didn't always want to show up and meditate. Sometimes it's very easy for me to just say, I get to meditate right now, right? And it feels really good. And other times I'm like, I just want to go hang out with my friends. I want to go watch a movie. I just want to eat some food. But having self-discipline and coming back to remembering that if I do this practice right now, I will be better off, tomorrow, the next week. I will be better off in the long term as a result of practicing this right now. And a question you can also ask yourself that also helps with creating self-discipline is asking yourself, why do I want to do this practice? What is the motivation behind me doing this practice? For me, I came from a place of being in debilitating anxiety, right? And so meditation was an offering for me to work through that anxiety. So I had a plethora of motivation and discipline because I was coming from a very painful place and slowly coming into a place that was actually much more beautiful, much more peaceful, right? Finding your why will always be a place that you could dip into when you don't want to do something. So if you don't want to meditate, you dip into the why, you remember the exact reason that you came to even start doing this practice in the first place. And maybe it is anxiety for you, right? This will help you stay disciplined. And again, brick by brick, you will start to recognize these benefits show up in many different ways over the period of time that you practice this meditation. Now, also I want to mention here too is Tony Robbins wrote this quote or said this quote. He said, if you don't have 10 minutes to yourself on a daily basis, then you don't have a life. And the point of this is that with that 10 minutes, you can do a practice for yourself to come back to yourself that'll just make your life that much better. For me, it's meditation. For other people, it might be yoga. For other people, it might be journaling, right? You can do all these things if you make the time to make it a reality. And the other quote I want to put here for people who say, I don't have time to meditate. Abraham Lincoln said a quote once that, you gave me 8 hours to cut down a tree, I'll spend the first 4 hours sharpening my axe. In other words, when we meditate and we reap these benefits of clarity and power and creativity, right, and confidence, then the things that we do during our day are done with so much more ease, right? Done with so much more ease because we are coming from this empowered place. And that is another reason that meditation is so beneficial, because it's helping us, again, tap into that place of power, that core power, and everything else just becomes much easier to do. Give me 8 hours to cut down a tree, I'll spend the first 4 sharpening my axe. Make time for meditation. Okay, now you probably want to know, all right, but Marcello, how do I meditate? How do I get started? Where do I go? I've got a couple of things that you could try out, okay? The first one and the easiest one is to find yourself an app, a meditation app that you really like, and commit yourself to a regular practice. There's Headspace, there's Calm, there's Insight Timer, and then there's Waking Up with Sam Harris. Waking Up has been my personal favorite app. With Waking Up, you get a 28-day introductory course. They're like 10 to 15-minute meditations on a daily basis for 28 days. You get like the real core principles of meditation. You start to learn the basics. And then he has a meditation every single day for 365 days. He also has an area in the app where you could just learn about meditation, about different types of meditation. And then he also has a library of different types of meditations that you could practice. You could see which one that you like. Find yourself an app that you like and commit to a regular practice, okay? Whether it's in the morning, whether it's in the afternoon, or before sleep. Okay. Number 2 is find yourself a modality of meditation, a type of meditation that you're interested in, and explore it. Dedicate yourself to it for some time. For me, I explored and was researching Transcendental meditation, and then I went and I did the 4-day course. And then I practiced every day for, the past 6.5 years. Find yourself some type and then commit to it for a little while. If you don't like that, try a different one. The other one, instead of Transcendental meditation, that I have not been to a proper training yet, is Vipassana meditation. Vipassana is another type of meditation, similar in some ways to Transcendental meditation, but also different. It's based on observation and equanimity, but they have a 10-day silent retreat where you go. That's your first introduction to it. You learn the meditation. You also learn another meditation called Anapana. And that could be something that you engage in. Research Vipassana, Transcendental meditation, and all these apps. Okay, the third option is find yourself a teacher that you like, whether on YouTube or one of these apps, and dedicate yourself to being a student of that teacher so that you could learn from that teacher. You have a little bit of a community around that teacher. And then once you learn the benefits, or the tools, I should say, the practice from this teacher or from these other modalities or from these apps, you could start to go practice on your own, right? And so that's where we are starting to build self-autonomy, that independence. We have this tool belt that we can constantly tap into when we want to tap into it. And I will mention with this third piece of finding a teacher, I also am now offering every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern the ability to come meditate with me. We do about 45 minutes to an hour. It's not all meditation. Some of it's breath work, some of it's journaling, some of it's gratitude. But every morning we are doing some type of meditation practice. You could look at all the events on my website, marcellolagreca.com, in the info down below, and then you could sign up for it. And this is also a really nice place when we do group meditations where you could feel, comfortable that you're not the only one learning this for the first time. You have a little bit of a support system to learn with, right? You can also look at your local yoga studio. Do you have local meditation groups? Join these meditation groups. There are so many ways to get started, and it is such a common thing today. And it wasn't as much of a common thing like 6 years ago, which is very cool. But the thing to keep in mind here is, what is your why, right? Coming back to that motivation so that you could stay regularly dedicated to it, build that space brick by brick, and the benefits will domino effect and expand. This has been an extremely beautiful journey for me, and I am extremely grateful that I just inevitably came across meditation, and now I'm even adding to it with things like yoga, and I'm doing more journaling, etc. But meditation has been my favorite practice, and it could be the same thing for you. If you would like to have more of a conversation on meditation, let's have a conversation. Drop in the comments below, reach out to me on Instagram. We could do meditation, just you and I. And, we could learn. You could ask questions. We could have a conversation. We could talk about it. Also, I want to mention here that I'm also doing one-on-one coaching. So if you want to engage in certain parts of your life that you're looking to find a little bit more fulfillment in, or find some more reward in, or just expand and uncover more of that power, we could work one-on-one together, and we could use meditation as a tool in that one-on-one journey to really facilitate an even larger opening, but more personalized, intimate type of atmosphere so that your needs are met 100%. If and only if you found value in this, a like or a subscription goes a very long way, but only if you found value in it. Otherwise, you don't have to like, you don't have to subscribe. But if you're this far in the video, it sounds like you might have enjoyed it. Anyway, I look forward to talking with you, hearing your experiences or your questions about meditation, and I will see you in the next video. Much love, happy meditating. Come join us this next Sunday. Sign up, link below.